Hi. The music you just heard was created by strangers on a set of 21 musical swings in downtown Montreal. So my name is Melissa. Is Melissa Mondiat. I co-founded the studio Daily Tous les Jours with Muna Andreas. And now we're a small team of multidisciplinary artists, designers, and people from different walks of trades who work to create collective experiences in public spaces. The project I'm presenting today is The Swings. It all started here in Montreal on this very narrow piece of land in between a very big science faculty and the Opera House. And the way we work is very much in context, so we approached people who are in the hood, and so we worked with a professor from the science faculty, a biology professor, who had just written a paper on animal cooperation, and also a local musician. And together, we had the ambition to create a large-scale, giant musical instrument that would be an exercise in cooperation live on the street. So these structures are there, they're permanent, they're made to host exhibits and kiosks during events, and we thought that they would be perfect for swings. I'll skip the chapter on how easy it was to get them to accept to have swings on them. But they're musical, and they trigger notes. So each swing triggers a set of notes. The higher you swing, the higher the notes. And there was a secret cooperation mode that when people swing in synchronicity, they trigger different, more complex melodies. So this is how it looked in Montreal. This is a forced cooperation exercise. It happens. So the project was very successful in attracting people of all backgrounds and all ages. And we transformed an anonymous strip of land into really a vibrant public place where people would stay. And when people spend time in public spaces, this is how they come to care for them. And that's how we knew that we had found something special. And they would let go of all inhibitions and just swing and become performers for others to see. And they would revel at the magic of making music with their entire bodies. This also happened, and we felt success. So it attracted all neighbors from the hood, and it also became a staple in Montreal, a place where people would gather when issues arise. So the project came back through local demand. People would write letters, would write articles, and why is this only, because initially it was only temporary. And so now it's a ritual. Every spring season, it opens the entertainment district, the Quartier des Spectacles in Montreal. And we found from an in-situ process universal value because people were also calling us from all over the world, from Australia, a music center, to a refugee camp in Gaza. And so we decided to make a traveling kit. This is the traveling kit in Colorado. So we also created a label because the traveling kit needs to travel, and that's a lot of energy. So we work with Fadia Tala and our label Infinite City to have it tour around the world. And we also recently got a grant from the Knight Foundation to have the project travel also in 4 cities in the States. And we want to see it in different places. This is in the mountains. It really was an example of how not only the project connects people together, but also connects them to their environment. In this case, the fabulous mountains of Colorado. And now we want to see it everywhere and how it can impact different types of communities and surroundings. And this is the type of impacts that we've noticed. And we will be more, we'll have a framework with Night Cities to go further in her analysis.
Excellent.
Voilà.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, I really enjoy this project and am wondering how you're choosing your sites. I have a lot of questions. I'm interested that you said that there's the possibility of being in a Gaza refugee camp. That's fantastic. How do you see it going into under-resourced neighborhoods, vulnerable communities, et cetera, so that it's not just for the elite?
Definitely. That's where Knight Foundation comes in, and it's not necessarily for the Raza case, but in order to help us fund the project, because money is the main obstacle in these scenarios. We also are looking forward to distribute by having it tour around to see how we can make it easier financially for different types of contexts to accept the project. Am I answering your question?
Not so much, but we can talk later. Yeah, I mean, I really want to know, are you asserting yourself? Are you going out and intentionally looking at under-resourced neighborhoods, for example, and knocking on doors and trying to take this fantastic play to all people?
Yes, we really found that this project is this type of new urban furniture, and we are in this crossroad, this weird crossroad, where we are attracting cities that come to us, or more events. And where do we fit in this, in this like new nugget of public space? And how can we are actively trying to find challenging. There are so many challenging public spaces where the project can make a significant difference, but it's much more complex than that. And trying to find the right business model for this to exist, because at the end of the day, this is also like what makes it possible.
So was this a collective effort, and are you in essence like the musical swing company now?
We're a interaction design studio, so we do a lot of different types of public large-scale interactive installations. But for this, so this project was 4 years ago, and it's been a slow evolution of us dedicating the time to make a traveling kit, and then seeing how like every week there's about from 5 to 10 emails that come in from people who want to have the swings, and we're trying to see how can we supply to that demand. And that's why we created the label with Fadi Atala, who is directing it and helping us be more proactive, and he's a much better seller also.
I'm wondering, you talk about the swings as being an exercise in live cooperation. So aside from generating the music while people are swinging, what are other forms of cooperation the project was hoping to sort of provoke within communities?
I think the musical aspect is just the beginning, so that people pay attention to one another, because we took like the very essence of making music, that you need one another, and that the sum is greater than the addition of all the parts. So from there, then it becomes a conversation sparker and gives people this common denominator where they can start to have discussions and feel that they are sharing the space with others.
Can I ask just a conceptual question here? There was a magic in the place of the first one. When I look at the next ones, why not just put musical swings, off those trees, versus having this kind of amusement park ride show up, for the weekend carnival?
Yeah, it is an interesting question. In thinking of the traveling kit, like how much do you have this like ready-to-go structure that can be everywhere versus adapting to the different sites?
And
because of the complexity. Technology, that's the answer. Thank you.